Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm going back to back today. Um, Something I wanted to share. Today is a little bit of a special day. I wanted to share my thoughts and show tribute for today. So bear with me. I'm going to share a brief story with you. Early January 2020, a man was complaining that he just wasn't feeling right. He was tired. He didn't have any energy. He was having problems breathing. And he was going to the doctor, and the doctors were checking him, and they weren't finding anything. They were testing him for gout, thinking that it was gout. And that was not coming back the way they thought it was going to be. But yet, he still kept complaining, and he still just wasn't feeling right. About a week later, he collapsed in his bedroom and was found by his wife. And she called 911, and the paramedics came and were able to revive him and took him to the emergency room. And after, oh, 4, 5, 6 hours in the ER, he was diagnosed with a rare and acute form of AML, which is a form of leukemia. And that was earth shattering. That was for him and his family. That was soul crushing, just completely devastating. But he took it in stride and knew he was going to get help and knew he had to be strong. And so then he was admitted into the hospital and sent to an oncology unit on the other side of town, in which that night he was put into a medically induced coma, in which he would go under 2 weeks of specific specialized chemotherapy, in which he did. And he came out a shell of himself. It clearly had a negative impact on him. And a few days later, they were able to send him home to hospice care, in which he could live out his remaining days with his loved ones. One Wednesday night, he arrived home. There was a medical transport brought him home. Hospice got him set up. It was about 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and he was surrounded by his family. The next morning, we woke up and started the day. 2 hours later, he passed away with his wife and his daughter-in-law and his son and his daughter by his side, along with 3 grandchildren. If you haven't figured it out, that man was my father. Today is his birthday. He would have been 72 years old today. So, happy birthday, Dad. Um, you know, we I haven't shared a lot of what my thoughts were personally, deeply, um, when I was diagnosed, because when I was, I kept thinking about what Dad's experience was and how difficult it was and what we saw and what we had experienced. And I was definitely afraid and scared for me, and putting, the girls and Sandra, what, I went through watching Dad go through what he went through, and so quickly. He was diagnosed, and 3.5 weeks later, he was gone. It was a whirlwind. He came out of that coma, and he really wasn't the same guy anymore. He was physically different. You could see it. It'd taken the life out of him. And he was moved into a regular hospital room. And I remember the doctor going in there and telling him that different organs were starting to shut down on him and that he was dying. And I'll never forget the look of peace and calmness in him. And he was very coherent. And he just looked back to the doctor and said, I understand. I understand. Just get me home. And so we all kind of broke out to get everything ready and to make the phone calls that we needed to make. And the doctor took my mom outside the room and told her how and when Dad was going to go. And she was spot on. She was exactly right. So, a lot of this is why my care team has been so careful with me, especially on the genetic side of it. His cancer was not genetic. Mine's not either. The only similarities are it's extreme. We both have something extremely rare, and don't know how we got it. The big difference is we lost Dad, and I'm going to get through it. So it's days like today put a lot of things into perspective. And I know a lot of us have that story to tell. I know I'm definitely not unique. Um, but it's definitely something personal for us and for me. And it's something that's very difficult to share. Which is why when I was diagnosed, it was this journey became so much more personal for me, because I remember looking at my dad and the suffering that he went through and imagining him having to do that by himself. I couldn't imagine that, and he didn't have to do that, and he was lucky. He had all of us around him. He had a sister, he had his brothers that were there to support his grandkids. There were so many people that were there to support Dad in any way that, we needed to support him. And just like I have. And it just goes to show you there's no rhyme or reason to this. It just happens. but you have to support those who have it in any way that you can, and in any way that you can show that support, even if it's a hello, it's just checking in on you. Are you doing okay? How you feeling? Can I bring you something? Do you need some food? Do you need a hug? You have no idea how much that means to these patients, because they need every bit of positivity that you can give them. And it's the first thing that everybody tells you that you need to be when you're diagnosed, is you need to stay positive, and you need to stay focused and stay happy, and stay positive, because that's what's going to defeat this. But it's unbelievably difficult to do that. And those of us who are fighting this need help with that. So I hope, if you're still watching this, I challenge you all to go out there and show some love, show some words of encouragement with your loved ones, or the people that you know that are fighting this, or who have fought this. Show them that you support them. Show them that you're there for them. Show them that you'll do anything you need for them. Just show them that you care, because that little ounce of care, concern, love, believe it or not, makes a difference in someone's day, that keeps them from falling into the dark places that you can fall into. So I wanted to do this real quick to honor my dad on his 72nd birthday, and to share the story with all of you. Something very personal to me, to my family, that affected us in a really deep way, which is why I'm on the crusade that I'm on, and a lot of it's dedicated to my dad. So anyway, I hope you have a good day. I hope if you had a good day, wherever and whenever you're watching this. I appreciate you all. Please let me know who you shared this with. Please let me know who you talked to, who you gave a big hug to, who you shared some words of encouragement with, because by doing so, you've made a difference. And that's what we're all trying to do here. So anyway, I know it's a little bit longer than my usual video, but this was important to get out. I do love all of you. I appreciate all of you. And I'm really grateful for everything that you have done to support me and my family. And I appreciate everything that you've done to support those around you that are affected by this, or will be supporting and when they're affected by this. One day there'll be a cure, and one day videos like this will never have to be done. And that'll be a great day for everybody. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say goodbye. See you later. And I'll talk to you when I talk to you next time. Bye.